this is not something that I want to be. I mean, I had in my family we had a lot of talent, you know, and this is right here. So you're gonna need some buttons to go behind it. And this is what I want to use. My granddad taught me how to go out and work as a little kid. You know, I wanted to make some money. You know, it was just to make a little bit of money. He taught me how to go out and work and find little things to do in the neighborhood. And after I learned, I would go out on my own and learn and do things. And one day I was going to out in the neighborhood, and I saw this old man raking leaves. And I just asked him if I could rake his leaves, you know. I said, "Sir, can I rake your leaves for you?" And sure enough, the man said yes. And before I could do anything, he just gave me the rake. I said, "Here, just start raking." And when I finished raking, I went inside to get paid. It was a shoe shop. And I was just amazed at what it was. I was just amazed because I didn't know it was a shoe shop. I was just looking at all the machines he had, wondering, what is this? What is that? And he saw how amazed I was. He didn't even hesitate. He said, "Take off your shoes. Let me shine your shoes." Well, I give him my shoes, and when I give him my shoes, he began to tell me how to shine. He said, "Now when you shine shoes, you put the polish on like this. And when you brush, you do the front first. The front of the shoe first." And I was just looking. But when he finished, my shoes looked like they were fantastic. They looked like they were brand new. I said, "Goodness, man, that's incredible." I mean, I was really surprised. And so I knew then that I would just go back and talk to him. And he didn't get a lot of business. He only got maybe 4 or 5 pairs of shoes a week. He was actually retired on Social Security, and the shoe shop was just his sidekick, you know, something he done just to make a few dollars to buy something to drink. He was an excellent cook, and he liked to drink. I don't mean he would go out and get drunk. I mean, he would get drunk. He's not like the real bad alcoholic. But I would say he was a little on the alcoholic side because he drank all the time. But he wouldn't go out in public and get drunk. He would just he lived in the back of the shop, and he would just get drunk. And whenever I come along, he would like to talk. He liked to talk about politics. He hated politicians. But I was just somebody he could talk to. And as I was be there all the time, I was just watching to see what he does. But little did I know that as time went on, I learned everything in the shop. I didn't even know it. When I was a teenager, when I first met him, I was just 8 years old. But when I became a teenager, I could run the shop pretty good. But it never really meant anything to me because I had other talent that I liked, that I was mostly into. This trade, I didn't even care nothing about it because I had much bigger aspirations. But one day as a teenager, we had a politician come in the shop. And when I say a politician, I mean he was a big-time politician in Florida. I played music in the marching band, and I was in the art. I did art all over the school. I drew portraits. I drew the school. I drew the school every year, and I put it up in the hallway, and every year I could see my progress. But when I finished high school, I had 2 scholarships. I had a scholarship in music and a scholarship in art. But as I looked into it very closely, I realized that both of the things that I love was very competitive, extremely competitive. So I couldn't see myself getting into that like that, because I knew to be good, there's a lot of things you have to do, and to get a job, you got to really be lucky, and you got to do a lot of different things. I couldn't see myself doing all that. So I went to Mr. Clifford. I went to the shoemaker. I asked him, I said, well, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know, I don't know if I want to go to college or what. I mean, I didn't know what I was going to be in life. And I knew I had to make a decision because I just finished high school. And I wanted to do something with my life. And also, if I didn't do anything, I was going to go into the service because I had just passed the physical to go for the draft. And I really didn't want to go in the service at all, because I had seen my friends go in the service and come back not looking good, all hurt, and they advised me not to do it. And I was going to take their advice because I really didn't want to go. But anyway, I passed the physical test, I passed the mental test, I passed all the tests. So I know if I didn't go, and I had a very low lottery number, which was 37. So I know if I didn't do something, I was going to the service. So I figured, well, I got to keep myself busy and doing something and find something that I got to do. So I told Mr. Cliff, I said, well, he suggested that I would go find, he said, why don't you go find a job doing this? I said, a job doing what? He said, a job doing this. I said, what, shoe repair? And he said, yes, shoe repair. I told him, I said, who's going to hire me doing this? I mean, I can't do this. And he said, James, you can do this. You can work the counter. You can work that machine. You can work that machine. And somebody will hire you somewhere. I said, who's going to hire a teenager? I mean, I really didn't believe him. I didn't believe him at all. Because number one, I had no confidence that I could do this. I had zero confidence that I could do this. But he told me I can go anywhere in the world and find a job. And when he told me that, I knew I didn't believe that. I said, you know what? I don't believe that. But I'm going to see if you're right. And sure enough, I went out that very same day. That very same day, I went to a big city, a bigger city. And it was Orlando, Florida. And I went to 3 shops. Every shop that I went to, they would tell me no. No, I don't need nothing about it. But the next guy does. This guy over here, he needs somebody. And the third shop I went to that told me that, he hired me. And all he said was, well, what can you do? I said, I can do this. He said, can you work the counter? I said, yes. He said, can you work the cash register? I said, yes. I mean, it was very simple. He said, can you work this machine? Can you work that machine? Then he said, well, where did you learn this stuff at? So I told him where I learned that, and he knew the shop that I learned. The shop that I learned was on the side of a highway, and everybody would pass by it. So everybody knew this shop. Whether they went there or not, they could see the shop on the side of the road. So that was my first job. And he wanted me to work for him so bad, he asked me, he said, well, how can you get to work? I just told him I would catch the bus, which was about 20 miles, 30 miles from where I was, I guess. But he didn't want me to catch the bus. He said, well, look, I got an old truck for you to drive. I had just got my driving license. And I knew I couldn't drive no stick shift. So he told me, he said, well, look, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And by the time you get home, you'll know. You'll know how to drive this truck. And sure enough, he showed me how to do it in the parking lot. And by the time I got home, I was driving that truck. And it was a very amazing thing to me. But I worked for him for 1 year, and he paid me $40 a week. I thought $40 a week was a lot of money at that time. After 1 year, I wanted a raise. I said, Mr. Howard, his name was Ted Howard. I've been working for you for a year, and you starting out with $40 a week, and I appreciated that, but I need more money. I told him I need more money, and I did. But he told me that, James, you deserve to have more money, but I can't afford to give it to you. But I'll tell you what I do. He got on the phone, and he got me another job just like that. And I was really surprised that, man, he got me a job. He got me the job. And the very next day, I was making $80 a week. And I really thought that was fantastic. But this guy, he took out taxes. The first job I was being paid on the table. This guy was taking out taxes. After he took out the taxes, I was only making $60. I said, that was an improvement, but I wanted even more. I said, I felt like then I got to go to school. The job was good. I was the manager of a shopping center, and it was really fantastic. But I felt like I was missing something by not going to school.
How old were you at that time?
I was 18. And but I got this new job. I had just turned. No, I had this job until I was 19, because I was born in April, and I worked for him for 6 months. Right after 6 months, I said, "Well, I'm going to go to college," and I just see all the little money I had, and got enough money to just start out in college. And I wanted to leave Florida because, like I say, I'm gonna get drafted if I stay in Florida. So I figured if I leave, I might have a chance to miss the draft. So that's what happened. I went to Oregon, and I went to school at Portland State, and I worked in Oregon. I worked my way through college going to Nordstrom, and that's when they only had 2 stores. But it worked out good for me because I could work full time. I worked in the afternoon, but on Mondays and Fridays the store stayed open late until 9. And I would work, I would work the shop by myself until the store closes up, which worked out perfect for me. And Nordstrom was, at the time, they only sold shoes. They didn't sell a lot of this other stuff like clothes and everything else. They only sold leather stuff, and they sold unique leather stuff. And I enjoyed working for them. It was really fantastic. What happened was after I finished college, they began to branch out, and they began to get more stores. But that's when I decided, I want to get my own store. I want to get my own business. And I walked in this shop one day. I saw this shop on the side of a shopping center. He was in the shopping center, but he was on the end of the shopping center. And he had old wood all old wood on the outside of the shop. It looked like a little shack. It looked like a little old shack that you would see out in the woods somewhere. And it really intrigued me. I said, man, this is... And on top of the thing, it had village cobbler and all wood. Everything was in wood. All old wood. And that really looked fantastic to me. And it really looked unique. And it was all by itself. So when I went inside of it, it was like a little barn. When you walk inside of a barn, when you walk inside of it, it makes you feel like you were outside in a barn. And I just thought, man, this is fantastic. Wow. I've never seen a shop like this. And the moment I walked in there, I didn't even say hello. I said, man, do you want to sell this shop? And he had just decided to sell before I walked in the door with his wife. He just got off the phone. He put the phone down, and that's when I said, man, do you want to sell this shop? And he felt like, man, you must be the one supposed to have it. He said, I don't want much money for it. He said, all I want is $7,000. Then he said, you ain't got to have cash. You can just pay me off by the month. I said, oh my goodness, I thought I was hearing things. But he showed me everything in the shop. And we were both strangers to each other. He didn't even ask me my name or nothing, He just felt like I'm the one supposed to have this shop. And sure enough, he showed me everything, and he said, look, we drew up a contract all quick. And in 1 week, he worked with me. He introduced me to his customers. And the next week, I just started working, And I started paying them off. I paid them off $200 a month for 4 years. You know, and after that, the shop was mine.
All right.
This is a very nice coat.
Thank you.
Y'all, can you tell about these kind of coats?
I'm not sure. I got it at a secondhand shop when I first moved up here in 2009.
Back in the 70s, you saw them all the time. 60s and 70s, everybody had these nice coats. You know, but I don't see them too much now. Not too much at all.
So you got the shop?
Yeah, I got the shop.
Customers?
Yeah, and I see, at the time I didn't have no beard, you know, and I was so young. Right? I mean, I was 24. I looked like I was about maybe 12 or 13. You know, I looked young. And the customer was saying, "Well, he's just a baby. He's just a little boy. You know, he can't. What can he do?" So I knew I had to convince him that I could work. You know, and so I knew how to do it because I had worked for Nordstrom. You know, I knew how much women love shoes, so I majored on the women. I gave them all my attention because they're the one that's in the shoes. The men are okay. But it's the women that you have to that drive this trade. You know, women love shoes. Men like shoes. Women love shoes. But anyway, I convinced the women that I could do it. And no matter what they wanted, I would do it for them. And I would do it the best of my ability. I would guarantee all my work. And I did things that was hard to do. That's why I enjoy doing because the easier stuff you don't learn nothing. I like what was difficult. I mean, and the more difficult stuff you did, the more you would learn. And everything that I did difficult, I mean, some things didn't turn out good. A lot of things turned out bad, but I learned from it. And that's what I majored in. I made up my own slogan. I told them what my slogan was at the time was I specialized. I specialized in that which is very difficult and extremely unusual. That was my slogan. And they bought me everything. And over a period of 15 years, my business doubled 4 times. I went from 300 customers to over 7,000. And the reason I knew it was because I had a computer. My computer did everything. And but it got so big until I just couldn't handle it, you know. I figured, well, you know, as I was growing, I started growing and getting a lot more people. I just worked harder. And I hired people. I started training people. I went to train about maybe, 4 or 5 people. And everything was working out pretty good, but nobody really stuck with me. Then I outgrew the shop that I was in. Then I moved into a bigger shop. And my business just kept on growing. And it just kept on growing. And I first came to San Francisco back in 1976.
Question.
Yeah.
The shop in Oregon, was it also called Shoe Repair? What was it called?
It was called the Village Cobbler. See, the guy that had it before it was called Village Cobbler.
Okay, so you kept it.
I kept Village Cobbler. I love that name.
Cool.
The Village Cobbler, you know. So I didn't deviate from that.
Oh, and the theme, the barn, and the
See,
village.
check the picture right here. See that picture right there. That's that. See, can you see that picture? That's me. I was 24. And the guy above the picture, he's the one that took the picture. He was one of my customers.
Okay.
He was young like I was. Maybe a few years older than me. He must have been maybe about. I was at the time I was in my 20s. He might have been in his late 20s or 30s, early 30s. But he had a family, and I did work for his whole family. I won this contest, and instead of him giving me the money, I said, "Man, you look, you ain't got to pay me no money. Let me use your car." At the time, my car had broken down, and I wanted to use this car to go roller skate. I'm also a roller skater, and I came down here as a roller skater. And when I came down here, I just enjoyed this area, San Francisco. The contest was in Oakland, and I wanted to win some money for my business. But Coca-Cola was giving away $10,000, and I got in this contest to win some money. And we came in third. I mean, we won until we came out here. We came in third. But I enjoyed this area so much, I just told myself, the first chance I get, I'm going to go to San Francisco and live. And because my business got so huge, I decided I couldn't handle it no more. So I came down here.
Got you.
And it took me. I retired in 1989, and I said, well, my ultimate goal was to get my business again. I didn't get my business again for over 20 some years. I mean, to 2017.
Okay.
And it was much harder this time. At that time, it was. I mean, so like everything just all the doors just open up. You know, this time I had to work harder to get it because in 2001, the 9/11 hit. I was working down here on Bush Street, and I wanted. I mean, the guy I was working for, I worked for him for 8 years, and he said, you know, I'm gonna give you one of the. He had 3 shops. I'm gonna give you one of the shops. So when that time came, he wouldn't give me nothing. He wouldn't give me the time of day, and man, I was so disappointed. I thought then I would get my own business again. You know how much I loved it. And he was a good shop on Bush Street, but he wouldn't give it to me. I mean, he wouldn't even allow me to buy it. I had $10,000 to buy it, buy one of his shops. You know, it wasn't a lot of money, but I worked for him. You know, so I figured if I just give him some money, he might do something for me. But I wasn't able to do it. But I'm glad because this shop was worth waiting for. I mean, out of all the trouble I had and all the disappointment I had during that time, it was worth it to have this shop here. And that's why, I mean, when I got this shop, see, I started with zero. See, that shop I bought. Okay, I bought that shop. And it was a big difference. You know, it already had customers. This shop, I had no customers. Not even one customer. I did, what I did was, I was working at another shop. And this company right here, the laundry locker. Right, they called this shop up where I was working at one day. And they wanted us to do their shoes. And so I answered the phone. I said, oh yeah, I talked to the guy. And I wanted to do their shoes. I wanted to do their shoes myself. Because I was working in the store because I worked for Nordstrom. See, I wanted this account. I mean, I knew how to work account. But anyway, I told Daniel, I said, Daniel, look, the laundry locker wanted to do their shoes. So I would set everything up. I would make all the prices. I would bill them and everything. You get the money. I just want to do the work. And so that's what happened. And so by that time, I had decided to get my own shop about a couple of years later. And I gave him a notice, 3-month notice. I would get my own shop. And he supported me for a while. But when he realized I really was going to get my shop, he was really mad. He got really mad, you know. But anyway, this company right here, they say, look, James, you've been doing our shoes. We want you to keep doing our shoes. You know, if you get a shop, we want you to keep doing our shoes, and we will support you. So I had them as an account. And when I opened up in one of their stores. That's how I got started, in one of their stores. And because I started with them, when they decided to move out, they wanted me to move out with them into one of the other buildings. But I didn't want to be with them. I mean, as far as under them, I wanted my own spot. And so that's when I looked around and I found this spot right here, and it was fantastic, you know. And it was, I mean, I remember getting one customer. You know, it took me a long time to get customers. I had to figure out a way to get customers to come to me, you know, and that was not easy. I mean, I advertised, I did everything I could, but slowly people would come, and you know, I done work for them. I had one company, Hoodline. A reporter came, he done a story on me, and it was in Hoodline, and that brought me some business, you know. And then I won a contest. I won some kind of contest they had around town, who put on by a big magazine. It's called San Francisco Magazine. I won the contest for having the best shop in the city. But I was just starting out. I didn't even know how I won it, but that brought me more business too. And my business began to pick up. Then somebody gave me a review. One of my first time customers gave me a review, a 4-star, and that really felt good because I got a good review, you know. And then I got more reviews. I got more 5-star reviews, and that brought me in a lot more business, you know. So that's how I got started. And I didn't know that reviews were bringing that much business. I didn't really, you know, care about reviews at the time, but I knew then when you get a review, people look at the review. You know, people read the review. And sure enough, I got more and more reviews, and that really helped my business too. And see, now I got 100 and something 5-star reviews, and the people think I'm the best shoe shop in the area, which I don't feel that way, you know. because I'm just trying to survive. Because I mean, I felt like I was the best when I was playing music. I felt like I was the best when I was doing art, and there was always somebody much better than I was, you know. So that didn't really don't mean that much to me, because I know there's someone always better when you thought things like that, and I've seen them, you know. I've seen better artists, and I've seen better musicians, and I knew I was way below them, and so I feel the same way now. You know, I don't feel like I'm the best. All I want to do is do my best. If I do my best, then I'm happy, you know. And along that, and I don't mind the customers feeling like if they want to feel like I'm the best, that's fine, you know. But I just don't feel that way.
Is that why when I said you are a magic maker?
Oh yeah, you know what I mean. I appreciate that, but I don't feel that way. I just feel like I'm just trying to survive like everybody else, you know. But if I can just, as long as I got something, because I got something here that I like. I mean, it ain't the way I really want it. I mean, it look like it's complete confusion. But customers still come in here, you know.
Is this not a great problem to have? Can I show the people the shoes?
Well, yeah, you should.
Please, I know you said you didn't
but
put all in here. Is this not, if you are a cobbler, is this not a great problem to have?
But still.
Mr. J is overwhelmed with business.
I mean, I wanted to look neat, you know. And I'm eventually I would get to where it looked better. This is the same thing happened to my other shop. I mean, it was the exact same way. I mean, this might be a little bit worse. Because I had, in my other shop, I had shoes hanging from the ceiling. You know, I had no place to put nothing. It was hanging from the ceiling. And so eventually I'm going to have to do the same thing here. Do something to get everything together.
Question.
Yeah.
You touched on going to school. What happened with school? What was your major?
I went to school. I went to Portland State. I majored in social science. And I really wasn't looking to be anything. I just wanted the knowledge. I just wanted to say, you know what? I went to school. I went to college. I was trying to dodge the service. I didn't really have no goals in school. I just wanted the knowledge, you know. And I got the knowledge. And the knowledge gave me confidence. I never used nothing that I used in school. That's what I used for my I mean, I incorporated in my business, you know, because I knew how to treat people. And I incorporated my music in my shop because I play music every day. Every place I went, nobody had music. I incorporate my art because I do things with leather. I've made purses, I've made belts, I've made sandals, I've made shoes. I've done everything with art.
Skates?
Yeah, I've done my skates. You know, you see my picture of the skate? I see it. Okay, yeah, I've done that. And so I incorporate everything I wanted to be. I incorporate it doing this, and it makes me feel better because I never lost my music. Well, I mean, you know, as far as loving music, I never lost my art because I incorporated it doing this, and it made this job to me even better because I really can't work without music. I mean, music just gives me something that you can't get from nothing else but music. You know, it makes your whole day better. Even though no matter how bad your day is going, music makes it better.
Yes.
So that's why I still do it.
I'm glad you mentioned that piece about what you learned in school being applicable.
Yeah, I could have been a psychologist working with people. I could have been a social worker, that kind of stuff. But I didn't want to. I mean, I can't see myself just doing nothing. I got to do my hand, you know. And that's why I like shoe repair.
When you hear people say things like, I didn't learn anything in college, college is pointless or school is pointless. Honestly, in some regards, I believe that there is a ring of truth to that, but it's situational.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that way yourself? Was there a time you was like, this is dumb?
Well, see, I felt like school to me was an adventure. Something that, I mean, I was so happy to finish high school. I was happy to get out of high school. I wasn't thinking about going to college. You know, I was just thinking, once I reached that goal, I felt like that was a higher goal for me to finish high school. But then I felt like I needed something else. I mean, it really wasn't enough. And I knew I was missing knowledge. And so when I went to school, I wanted to learn. I just wanted to learn. You know, I wasn't trying to be something, be the best of anything. I just want to learn something. And everybody, all my whole class, they want to learn. And I remember in my class, you know, I mean, I was just mixing in with everybody else, all teenagers. But my junior year, I was the junior class vice president.
Okay, come on, vice president.
Huh? Yeah, I was the vice president. And I don't know how they chose me to be the vice president. In my senior class, I was the president. And I wasn't trying to be president. I was it was the first thing from my mind. But to them, I was like a leader to them. And so it was I accomplished what I could as a leader. You know, I knew parliamentary procedure. You know, it was pretty unique.
In terms of your path, did you ever have concerns about family planning?
I'm the firstborn in my family, and when I left home, there was I mean, everybody under me. I was 19. Everybody under me was teenagers or younger than teenagers. There's 8 people in my family. I got 5 sisters and 2 brothers. And so I've always felt like eventually I would get married. But as far as I can remember, I felt like I was just too young to get married. You know, I felt like, how can I get married and take care of someone, but I can't even take care of myself? So I felt like, yeah, I want to be able to take care of myself first. Then I could get married and take care of my family. But what happened was, the time that I really should have been thinking about getting married, it never even crossed my mind, you know, for some reason. And by the time my shop got so big, I had so many customers until I was kind of going crazy. I had so many customers, and these customers were so nice to me until it was really driving me crazy. I mean, they would never got mad at me, which was kind of hard because I felt like I deserved them to get mad at me once in a while. Nobody never got mad at me. They were always so very nice to me, and they just treated me very nice and special, and that just drove me crazy. I mean, I hated it because I couldn't handle it. Because you know, people tell you that niceness can kill people. It can, because it was killing me. It was really killing me. I felt like somebody had came in my shop and just chewed me out, you know, chewed me out big time. I would have felt much better. But I remember I was in the shop. I had 9 customers come in my shop. 9 customers. Now in the shoe shop, that's a lot of people. And I knew I didn't have the work done. I knew I didn't have not one of the shoes done. And I felt so bad until I could not confront them. I just hid. I hid in the shop. And I thought, oh God, man, how can I do this, you know? I just couldn't go out to face them. And so one by they just stood around talking to each other, and one by one they just eventually left. And I knew then, I said, I got to quit, you know. I really had to quit. I mean, as far as doing that, because it was over my head. And that's when I realized, you know what, I got to close up. I'm going to get my work done and just close up. I put a note on my door. I put, you know what, I'm closing up. And, you know, in so many days I'm closing up. And I got to go. And so in the neighborhood, when they found out that I was closing up, I was really leaving, they brought me a whole lot more work. I mean, they gave me more work, you know, for me to do their shoes one time before I left.
Wait, what year was that?
That was in 89. I had one look. So if they saw me in there, they would always come to the door for me to do their shoes. So I would block my window, you know, so nobody could see me. And it took me 6 months to get all my work done. But during this time, see, when I was dating and stuff and should have got married, I was also having trouble with my business. And so I didn't have my life was not together for me to think about getting married. You know, my life was being torn apart. It seemed like. So I decided I just got to get out of the trade for a while because I'm going crazy. You know, my mind is not there, and so that's the reason I just closed up and came down here.
Okay.
I figured I'd come down here and start over again, and this time try and do it right. You know, But I didn't get back on my feet again. I didn't start feeling good again for a long time after that, because I worked here and there. I had some money saved up, but I never really got into it good because I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was never stable enough. I would live here and go there and do this. I didn't know whether I was going to, be here or not, But I wanted to be here. But I just didn't know where I might decide to go home. But when my parents passed away, I said, "Well, no need to me going. If I wanted to go home because of them." And but I lost contact with my parents for 20 years, and that hurt me too. That really hurt me because I was moving around. I called my mom when I left in '89, told her what I was doing, and after that, they was moving around. That was before the cell phones came out. And when the cell phones came out, everybody had, in my family, they always got married and bought houses and stuff. And I lost their numbers. And my mom had bought a house and everything. I lost contact with them. So when I finally got in contact with everybody, it was 20 years later. And, everything was completely different. I just missed them in 20 years.
Yeah.
But she passed away not long after that. And then my dad passed away not long after that. So I said, "Wait, no chance to me go home. I want to go home. I want to go home to them,
Yeah.
Not with my brothers and sisters because I love them and stuff, but it was my parents that I was very close to.
Okay.
I was the oldest, and they considered me above everybody else because I was the oldest. That kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I just never got married after that because I was just too unstable. Too unstable, and I didn't have my life together like I want. Now I do, but now it doesn't really matter that much because but if I do, I will. I still do things and stuff, but it's completely different now. And now when I go home, I still go home and visit my family. I'm the only skater, and I'm the only one that do things, and they're all older. Not older than me, I am, but they're older than what I was, when we were younger. But they don't do nothing. They don't do anything. So when I go home, I take everybody roller skating. I pay for everything. I say, "Look, I'm going to take you guys roller skating. I just want to have fun." All they want to do is sit around and talk. But I want to take the kids out and just have fun.
Yes.
I've done every time I've been home. I've done that. I filled my car home 3 or 4 times. And the first time I done it was in 74 or 75. I did it again in 85.
Let me ask you,
Yeah.
when you take everyone roller skating, what differences do you notice in them?
Well, the first time I done it, back in the 70s, they didn't consider it, they just felt like it was just something else to do. But to me, it was special because they went. They all went. I took everybody together. Well, first with the kids, I make them clean everything up. We clean this up, clean the house up, clean the yard up, clean my car. Then we go off and do something. All right. I took them all out for a ride. And we took them out to get something to eat and stuff. And that evening we went roller skating. They just, to them, when you're a kid, you want to do anything. Anything that's pretty bad than doing nothing. And they all enjoyed that. And the kids that I done that with the first time, they all remember that. They remember that the next time I done it. And some of them still, one of them still roller skate. She was a little girl when she went with me the first time. Now she's I forgot what she does, but she got a nice house, she got a nice car, she got a nice family, and she roller skates. She got her own roller skate. I said, "Wow." And she only done it because I took her roller skating when she was a little girl. But I took her, so now she's grown up. And this year, I took her roller skating again to see her roller skate. And when she dressed up, she looked really good, and stuff. She's not a real good skater, but she's into it. And so, this time I took them all roller skating. I just took the kids skating. But to my surprise, all the adults went. All the adults went. They put on roller skates. They couldn't skate, but they tried. And I thought that was so special. To me, that made me feel real good. That we all got together as a family, and it was a lot. It was about maybe 40, 45, 50 of them. It was a lot, and we had a ball.
Great.
So I decided, you know what? This time I'm gonna do it. Every time I go home, I'm gonna do it. because usually when I go home, it's because somebody has passed away, and I really couldn't stay long. But this time, nothing happened. I took a vacation, went home, took all my friends out. You know, my childhood friends, friends of childhood. I took all of them out, and we all had a nice meal together. And I took my family out, and it just felt good to me, you know. It felt really good to me. We all reminisce about things we done, and about the music. You know, I mean, when I was playing the drums, I got everybody in the neighborhood playing drums. Okay, and my friends still remember that. It was amazing to me. They all remember that I did that. But it was kind of nice. So every time I go home, I'm gonna do that.
Could you say your name one more time?
James White. I'm James White. Officially, I'm a shoe cobbler, and cobbler means working with shoes, making shoes. I do any type of leather work, and the main thing I do is shoe repair, purse repair, coat repair, jackets and belts. And I started when I was a little boy at 8 years old, not knowing what I was doing. I love it here, and I'm gonna do my best to make it work. With fantastic customers, but my thing is just doing the best I can. I'm gonna make the customers happy.
Well, thank you very much.
You're very welcome.